All right, Trump has had 2 great days or more in India. She's still trying to negotiate trade deals and other things there. I'd forgotten that India is now the largest populated country in the world, even larger than China. Anyhow, a lot of stuff is going to happen through China too and through India as things progress. They said it couldn't be done with China tariffs, and I believe it will be done with India tariffs too.
I think that from the standpoint of women, I think it was a great thing. It was a great victory and sends a very strong message, he said. But if you look at the Democrats and you look at Obama, Hillary, and the rest, they were very close to Weinstein. Actually, Hillary Clinton worked very closely with Weinstein. And she was warned by certain individuals that he had this problem with women. But she didn't care. She didn't listen. Now, Weinstein appeared at the White House on 13 occasions during the Obama presidency, and this is according to visitor records. 9 of his visits were with President Obama himself, including some events together with the First Lady, Michelle Obama, and Malia Obama, the oldest of Obama's daughters. She was an intern for Weinstein in 2017. Malia, 18, began her internship at the New York City offices of the Weinstein Company. So who was close with Weinstein? Obama and Clinton. And look at what he was doing. Now, very interestingly, in post 2888, we have 2 Twitter links, and this is Patton Oswalt. And he tweeted out pro-pedophilia tweets from 2013. Now, down below, it says, who will be next to fall post-Weinstein? Big name coming. Nobody is safe, dark to light. These people are sick. So in the next couple of days or weeks, we're going to see something else happen here.
Okay, so Q is warning us that some bigger individual in pedophilia is going down. So that's going to be a real shocker for those people that are in high levels areas and doing all this foolishness and crap to women and girls.
I believe we're going to see many individuals where their names are going to start to pop up. Now, very interestingly, Phil Haney, who was a Obama whistleblower, he worked for the DHS. A couple days ago, we reported that he committed suicide, which we all said this is absolutely ridiculous. He did not commit suicide. And now the sheriff's office is out there, and the sheriff made a statement saying that there has been no determination of suicide yet. This is an incorrect reading of the initial statement. This case is still ongoing. They're still looking at every aspect of this case, so it has not been ruled a suicide as of yet, which I find it highly doubtful that this individual committed suicide.
Now, they said that he had uploaded records and videos and other things, data on this. Someone's got that information. Someone didn't want it out and he was bumped off. There's no 2 ways about it.
Now, we know that Trump commuted the sentence of Blagojevich, and he has been making the rounds on different talk shows. He showed up on Water's World, and he's been talking about how Obama was behind all this, how Mueller was behind all this. And now we can see why Trump commuted his sentence, because he was set up by the same exact team.
So Mueller and Obama set this guy up and sentenced him. Wow, he's on these talk shows. Boy, people are going to get a mind full and eye full of this stuff. Yikers.
He has information. This is why the swamp and the mainstream media are freaking out over Blagojevich's release, because they understand that he knows what happened. He has the facts and the evidence behind him, and he's going to produce it all and let everyone know his side of the story. This is all part of the plan. He is educating the people. Well, the same group did it to me.
Interesting. Let's move on here.
Barr smacked him down for recommending Roger Stone serve 7 to 9 years in prison. Zelensky was also one of Mueller's prosecutors who signed the sentencing memo seeking prison time for George Papadopoulos. Zelensky and 2 other prosecutors argued that Papadopoulos lied in order to hinder the Fed's ability in February of 2017 to question and or arrest a Maltese professor named Joseph Mifsud. But what Mueller's prosecutors wrote in the Papadopoulos sentencing memo completely contradicts what Papadopoulos actually told the feds in a newly released FBI memo. Are we starting to see the same exact pattern over and over and over again? We definitely are. Now, the FBI memo shows Papadopoulos engaging and showing willingness to cooperate and help the feds locate Mifsud. Papadopoulos told the FBI that Mifsud reached out to him via email on February 10, 2017, and told him he was in Washington, D.C. This was completely omitted from the sentencing memo. They just left that out. None of Mueller's indictments implicated any underlying crime. Every indictment stemmed from a process crime that derived from Mueller's witch hunt. In other words, Mueller's witch hunt created all the crimes since there was no underlying crime, and the prosecutors lied and omitted information in order to put Trump's associates in prison.
That's got to come back and bite them sometime.
There is a 302 that they still can't locate, and this has to do with Flynn. This is the original 302. And the original 302, they just say doesn't exist anymore. But the other 302s were rewritten from the original. And the FBI system, the way it's set up, you just don't lose 302s. And remember, there's an outside prosecutor now looking into Flynn's case.
Someone's got that 302 or records of it, unless they purposely destroyed and buried stuff.
Put 4 members of a presidential campaign under investigation under false pretenses they knew to be false, and used the opposition presidential campaign's dirt as evidence to obtain spy warrants, and then doctored email to mislead courts to keep spying past election. And we know that Senator Lindsey Graham, he's starting to call certain individuals in. And we already know that he's going to get to the bottom of this. And while he's doing this, he's going to educate the people. This is from Paul Sperry once again. Breaking: Senate Judiciary Chair Lindsey Graham plans to call senior Obama DOJ official David Laufman to testify before his committee about what DOJ brass knew about the dossier's debunking in January 2017. Laufman headed the CI section of NSD and was implicated by IG in FISA misconduct. Basically, what Lindsey Graham is doing right now, he's breaking all of this down so everyone understands and laying out the story.
We'll need the story. It'll be brought out. People are going to get an eye full of this before it's done.
FBI and NYPD raided the Manhattan headquarters of Peter Nygard's fashion company on Tuesday as part of a sex trafficking investigation. Nygard has been under investigation for at least 5 months by a joint child exploitation task force. Now, we're seeing this all across the country. Add on top of this, we have the Westminster child sex abuse. Senior police and politicians, they all knew about the widespread pedophilia, but they turned a blind eye. Now, according to this inquiry, several highly placed people in the 70s and 80s, including Sir Peter Morrison, MP, and Sir Cyril Smith, MP, were known or rumored to be active in their sexual interest in children and were protected from prosecution in a number of ways, including the police. Former Metropolitan Police Officer Robert Glenn told the inquiry his team had enough evidence to prosecute Sir Cyril Smith and former Liberal MP in the 70s for sexual offenses against young boys. But the investigation was thwarted by senior officials who claimed it was too political. The report also claims Liberal Party members were likely to be aware of allegations against Smith, but did nothing to inhibit his political progress.
All this stuff that was put down by higher-ups is bad news. I don't know when they're going to get to it. But this stuff has to come out sometime, and this has to be stopped financially.
Nancy Pelosi. Americans need a coordinated, full-funded, whole-of-government response to keep them and their loved ones safe. The president's request for coronavirus response funding is long overdue and completely inadequate for the scale of this emergency. Now, Nancy, she's panicking because she knows that Trump, the Patriots, they're getting ready to release their crimes to the public. She is now trying to push fear, just like everyone else.
Nothing new there. Fear, fear, fear. There should be some concern, though, with this, in all seriousness.
Is only that I should be asking for more money than $2.5 billion to prepare for coronavirus. If I asked for more, he would say it was too much. He didn't like my early travel closings. I was right. He's incompetent. Let's think about this. Everything that Trump did, going all the way back to the tariffs on China, forcing companies out of China where they can establish different supply chains. Well, it seems that that was the right move. Let's see. Shutting down the border, not just letting anyone into this country. Once again, with this coronavirus, brilliant move. Because now we don't have to worry about the border. Putting up the wall to stop the flow of more people. Well, with this coronavirus, brilliant move.
We'll see how effective it is. We're still not over the hill on this stuff.
Is positive for coronavirus. He had previously looked unwell during a press conference. Now, are the deep state players, are they prepared? Because they know it's coming. They know that arrests are coming very soon. Now, do I think the upper echelon is going to be arrested in the beginning stages? No. Do I think the upper echelon, like Obama, like Clinton, I don't think they're going to allow themselves to be put on trial. Think about McCain. What happened to him? Well, he passed away before he could be put on trial. The way these people think, the way these individuals are, they're either going to run, commit suicide, or they're going to come down with an illness. Now, most likely, some of these individuals might say they contracted coronavirus. At the end stage of their entire event where the push didn't work, they might try to use this. And we won't just see it here in the U.S., we might see it around the world. And this brings me back to post 2725. Remember when Q told us that they heard chatter that Bill and Hillary's public health will begin to rapidly deteriorate? Was that them planning, and this was back in February of 2019, was that them planning all of this ahead of time? Maybe. And what's very interesting, with Trump saying that we're very close to a vaccine, all of a sudden, from the U.S. health officials, they say human trials on coronavirus vaccine to start in 6 weeks. Where did this come from? Out of nowhere. Yesterday we talked about that they had a flu vaccine.
Challenges, is this flu virus or vaccine going to be effective enough? U.S. health officials say human trials on coronavirus vaccine to start in 6 weeks. Well, I'm sure they're going to need that and more.
You think that's the only cure they have? Now, am I saying they're going to go around vaccinate everyone? No. Just the word of a cure, of something that can protect the American public and the rest of the world, the event dies. So they have a certain window right now to push their event. And I'm wondering if certain people are going to become ill. Let's move on to Q's post. This is post 3881. And Q gives us a previous post, and it says, fired, forced, FBI, DOJ, State, Senate, Congress, CIA, DOD, SC, Federal Judiciary, DOJ, CIA, locked and loaded. Letting us know there are many individuals in all these organizations that have been fired or forced out. Then Q gives us a Twitter link to Nate Kane. And this is what the Twitter link says. Here is the interview you all been waiting for. In it, I share the details of what happened from start to finish and the aftermath. I pray it will make a difference. Now, Q says listen carefully. I took a small snippet of this so you can get what Nate Kane is talking about. He is a FBI employee. He found something out. He became a whistleblower. Just listen to this 30-second clip here.
And the Bureau had a conversation, and that conversation, transcripts of it were placed, I guess, somewhere that wasn't compartmentalized. And so some people had seen that, and in it was, they were having a conversation about Hillary Clinton and her case, and words were being thrown around that there was a big discovery, that it was, the words like treason were being thrown around, and they were fearful, and they didn't know what to do. So there was discussions about potentially burying this, because the other phrase that really sticks out in my memory was that this could bring the government down.
So let me just continue with this post here. It says, think, R-E, why no arrests, justice yet? Well, Trump actually told us this. He said he never realized how deep and wide the swamp was. What if almost every critical position, senior position within the U.S. government apparatus was infiltrated? What must be done first? Clean house. Who is there? John McEntee. He's there to clean house. Q says the swamp runs deep. Plus, there are sleepers that they have to get rid of. Backgrounds are important. Q says Muslim Brotherhood. List of in the news now names, and names is in brackets and bold, with known ties to Islam. This is not another 4-year election. And this is in brackets. Assumption correct, package well received, known, and that's bold and in brackets. And what I believe that.
So we've got a lot of things going on. We've got Islam ties. We've got corruption at all the high levels. Almost all the major areas of government are corrupted. Think about that. See, it's an impossible job to clean up virtually. Trump is going to make a very good run at it. We've never seen anything like this. This guy, I believe, is God sent us to help clean up and give us some more time. How long it's going to last, how long the cleanup is going to do is good, I don't know. But it will give us some time to move forward, and some major decisions are going to have to be made in the security areas of the government, in the DOJ and the FBI, CIA, other areas of government. This is deep and wide, and it's bad news for those that want justice.
Means is, and I think a lot of the Anons believe this too on the board, they believe that this message is to Nate Kane, letting him know that the package he sent to the House Intel Committee was received and the contents were already known. So let's go back to Nate Kane's interview. So Nate worked for the FBI. He overheard conversations of Hillary Clinton and her email case. He heard words like treason were being thrown around, and it could bring down the government. He did searches. He found documents. These documents had case files. These had to do with money laundering, SEC fraud, public corruption, terrorism, financing. He thought it was being investigated because they had case files. These had to do with Uranium One, Clinton Foundation. They had to do with other countries, and they were being used for money laundering. He thought that she was going to be charged. Then he saw Comey exonerate her. He was completely shocked. Hillary Clinton was trained in classification. So for her to say that, oh, I didn't understand it, is absolutely ridiculous. He realized the higher part of the FBI was corrupt. He blew the whistle on them all. He was scared, nervous to do this, but he did it because he knew it was right. It was the right thing to do. Because they knew if this got out, it would bring down the government. And I'm talking about their government, the deep state government, the way they had it set up. Because then there'd be investigations all over the place. And they didn't want this to happen because people would hear that there was treason at the highest level. Now, Q also said backgrounds.
You know there's been treason at the highest levels. You know that Obama, Clinton, Bush, and other individuals have done treasonous things. Senior Bush done treasonous things. But this stuff goes back decades. It's incredible. The major problem with this is we're going to have to go two ways. Government's going to have to get itself cleaned up on the deep state side and keep it that way, or the deep state side is going to eventually overcome Trump and the White Hats. That's the war that's going on and seems to be ongoing. Never before has it been tried by President and other honest people to clean up the deep state that's so deeply and widely infected our country with treasonous people.
Are important. Muslim Brotherhood. So we also have Lisa Page, who her mom was from Iran. Obama sends secret cash to Iran. Strzok, his dad was from Iran. Valerie Jarrett, born in Iran. And John Kerry illegally negotiates with Iran. And Brennan is also rumored to have converted to Islam. And then we have the tweet from Representative Omar, and she says, I am hijabi, Muslim, black, foreign-born, refugee, Somali. What's missing from this? She left out American. Very interesting. Let's move on to post 3882.
She's no American friend of mine.
And this is a picture of the United States Interagency Counterinsurgency Initiative. And Q gives us a link to 2009 to 2017 state.gov. And this document is the United States Interagency Counterinsurgency Initiative documentation, otherwise known as COIN. And Q says in the post, insurgency is the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. The presidency of Barack Hussein Obama began at noon Eastern Time on January 20th, 2009, when Barack Obama was inaugurated as the 44th President of the United States. Now, the document was signed 1 week before Barack Obama was sworn in. So does that mean that the Bush administration kicked everything off by putting this in place for him starting day one?
Wow.
Starting to look that way.
Bush. And there's both Senior Bush, the great-grandfather Bush, and Bush Jr. They're all treasonous. You can go back and do some study on it. It's pathetic.
What country was the true intended target? This whole thing was planned for the U.S. The plan was part of the 16-year plan. It was funded with corrupt money that was laundered via criminal activities like the Clinton Foundation, the Clinton Global Initiative, and other groups. And this appears to be a how-to guide on how to destroy America from within. Think about what they were trying to do. They created the swamp, and their plan was to destroy America from within government. And we've been watching this all along. We've been reporting on this since Obama came into his presidency. And of course, the mainstream media, they went along with the plan. And this is why Q has been telling us that the mainstream media, these corrupt politicians, the elite, the non-elected individuals, none of these individuals are going to escape.
Anyhow, we're going to leave it here, but the corruption and treason is so high, so wide, so deep that it's just scary. And to think if Trump wasn't in here, they would have finished this off with Hillary. Think about that. The United States would have been no more as it was. It would have been totally controlled by the elites, and we would be done for as a free nation, period. And this would have affected the whole global economy, whole global politics. They would have achieved their goals and their desire for worldwide domination. Think about that. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Support X22 Report. Some of the best reporting around. Good day.